Hey everybody, it's Brandon with Cigars and Cinema, and I'm talking to you today before we start about one of our sponsors, Calypso Cigar Shop and Lounge in Richardson, Texas. These guys have been supporting our podcast for years, back in the day when it was the Calypso Cigar Review Show, and now as Cigars in Cinema. So we'd really appreciate it if you would support them. Give Matt over there at the Calypso Cigar Shop and Lounge a call at 972-761-9903 and order some cigars. And hey, if you happen to be in Richardson and you want to stop by, go by 1401 East Arapahoe Road, Suite E in Richardson, Texas, and talk to Matt yourself. It's a great shop full of great people and great cigars, and we appreciate the support. Now on to the show. Cigars in Cinema.
Will you bring in the cigars, please?
The movie review podcast that tackles the smoky side of cinema.
Cigar, mate!
Oh, I don't mind if I do.
Each week we review a movie that contains in some way, shape, or form someone smoking a cigar.
Cigars.
Fire is good.
We'll talk about who smoked it, where they smoked it, how they smoked it, and we'll probably make fun of them if they have no idea what they're doing.
What are you doing? You never light a cigar that way.
So sit back, light up, and enjoy the podcast that has it all. Cigars.
Cigar. Smoke it.
Smoke it.
Movies.
Say hello to my little friend!
And general mayhem.
My doggy!
Hey everybody, this is Brandon Luna.
I'm Randy Rankin.
And this is Cigars in Cinema, Episode 4.
Episode 4. We've already done 4 of these.
4!
4!
That's right. And we are doing a classic today.
Yes.
Modern
classic.
It's a modern classic, yeah. Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck.
Where do you live?
The city.
Do you have a house?
Apartment.
Own or rent?
Rent.
What do you do for a living?
Lots of things.
Where's your office?
I don't have one.
How come?
I don't need one.
Where's your wife?
Don't have one.
How come?
It's a long story.
Do you have kids?
No, I don't.
How come?
It's an even longer story.
Are you my dad's brother?
I'm your dad's brother, all right.
Buck Russell had always been the black sheep of the family.
I'm stunned that I'm related to you.
Until one night.
Buck, we have a problem with the kids. We're stuck for somebody to watch them.
Oh, please, not that.
Can we trust him?
He's my brother, for God's sake.
I won't let him get into that Satan stuff or any of the new chicks. I'll leave that for me. Wow. I'm kidding, huh?
He's irresistible.
And I want to ask you why I'm so attracted to you.
I wouldn't even guess at that.
Whoa!
He's unbelievable.
I'm Anita Horgar.
I'm Buck Melanoma. Molly Russell's ward.
He's
Would you just
John Candy. As Uncle Buck.
What does he like to drink? I've been leaving the toilet seats up. Is that what the blue water is? It's not good for him, huh?
Uncle Buck, the new comedy from John Hughes.
You have much more hair on your nose than my dad.
How nice of you to notice.
I'm a kid, that's my job.
Coming soon to a theater near you.
Greatness. Stop down movie. If that's
Yeah.
on, I will stop and watch it.
Uncle Buck is definitely a stop-down flick. One of the best John Hughes movies, I think, as far as once he got past the whole angsty kid thing,
Teenage thing. Yeah.
doing his
Once
his
he got
regular
into,
thing.
like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles and and moved on, great stuff. Yes, the late, great John Hughes, the late, great John Candy.
Mm-hmm.
We're both big John Candy fans. How could you not have been a John Candy fan?
Yeah, and you talk about how iconic John Hughes was at the time. Think about that. The guy was like, everybody knows John Hughes movies. Mm-hmm. The guy directed 8 movies. That's it.
That's all.
That's it.
But they were all classics in their own right.
16 Candles was the first one. Breakfast Club.
Yep.
Weird Science, which at the time didn't do as well, but it was still
It's a
considered
cult
iconic.
classic, yeah.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. She's Having a Baby, which is
Not a bad movie.
a one of those, we talked about romantic comedies, one that I actually like. Uncle Buck and Curly Sue. Too bad Curly Sue was his last one.
Too bad. Although Carell, that was Carell's first movie.
Yep. And James Belushi.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it just
wow.
The guy didn't do a whole lot really. He did a lot in the writing realm.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote like 48 things.
Yeah.
So he was there all over the place as far as the writing's concerned, but just not really that big of a director. People think he did a lot more than he really did.
Which
so.
shows how good he was.
Yeah, I mean, the
That-
guy
that-
started out with Delta House TV series. He wrote the TV series based on
Right.
the American, was that Animal House TV
Right.
show or
Right.
movie.
Right.
National Lampoon's Vacation. He wrote that. Wrote Mr. Mom.
Mm-hmm.
Nate and Hayes, which I actually like. It's a cheesy swashbuckler movie with Tommy Lee Jones and
I've
the guy
seen
from
that.
Caddyshack.
Yeah, I've seen that.
16 Candles, obviously. European Vacation, he wrote that as well. Pretty in Pink, he wrote but didn't direct. Some Kind of Wonderful, he wrote but didn't direct.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get into The Great Outdoors, which he also wrote and didn't direct. And National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, Home Alone. A lot of these went to Christopher Columbus and those guys' career opportunities, which was the first time I saw Jennifer Connelly in full babe mode.
Oh, wow.
It's like I remember seeing her in a Labyrinth thinking, oh, she's really pretty. She's going to be hot later. And then see her in career opportunities. Like, holy crap.
You were right. You were right.
Titties on that one.
Yeah.
And then Dutch, which I actually like Dutch. I thought Dutch was pretty funny.
Hang on, Dutch.
The guy from Married with Children.
Yeah. Modern Ed O'Neill.
Yeah, Ed O'Neill.
Yeah.
Beethoven. Can't believe he wrote that. Poor guy.
I can't believe Charles Grodin was in that. He's too good for that.
Home Alone 2 and Home Alone 3. Dennis the Menace, Beethoven the Second. Babies. Yeah, he wrote a lot of crap after a while. Miracle on 34th Street, he did the screenplay for the remake of that. 101 Dalmatians, Flubber. Yikes. So
I've now changed my opinion on John Hughes. Because that Miracle on 34th Street remake was
Here's
awful.
one you like a lot. Made in Manhattan. He wrote that.
Yes. Love that movie.
with the romantic comedy casting of Ray Fiennes and Jennifer
Lopez.
Who the hell thought that was
exactly.
Ray Fiennes in a comedy?
Yeah,
like
all right.
He was the guy that shot all the Jews in Schindler's List. You gonna put him in a comedy? Drillbit Taylor, he wrote that.
I liked that movie, sorry. Owen Wilson is hilarious in that movie.
Yeah. I've never seen it.
You've never seen Drillbit Taylor?
I saw the trailer and I'm like, no, I'm not going to watch it.
It's hilarious.
No, it's not.
No, it's worth watching.
No,
it's worth watching. I've never steered you wrong in a comedy. That's a funny comedy.
Yeah, I'll say.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about
Uncle Buck.
Uncle
The
Buck.
great Uncle Buck. Premise is, it's a little tired premise. You know, you've seen this before a bunch of times, but this time it actually worked really well. John Candy plays Buck, single, bachelor, drives an old beat-up piece of shit car, bowling, gambling, smokes cigars, gets drunk all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Just basically a loser. But
Yep.
he didn't know he's a loser. He thinks he's having a good life. He likes his life.
Exactly.
He's happy with it. Well-to-do brother, lives in Chicago, or the suburbs of Chicago.
Yep.
Family emergency arises. They need to leave. The mom and dad need to leave their kids so they can go take care of the family emergency. Only person they can get to come watch the kids is the loser, Uncle Buck.
Yep.
And this is Macaulay Culkin's first
Yep.
big role, and he was awesome in it. I mean,
He was.
you knew right then he was gonna make it as a child star. He was awesome. To steal scenes from John Candy is hard to do, and he did.
Yep. He did.
The hot chick, can't remember her name. She went on to do a TV show that lasted a long time too.
Oh, the young daughter.
Yeah.
The younger daughter.
Yeah.
Jean Louisa Kelly.
Yeah.
Very pretty.
Very pretty. Yeah. Had a
See her
big
go,
crush
God,
on her.
she's going to be gorgeous.
Yeah.
She's
And then she
gorgeous
got a-
already, but she's going to be hot.
And then she got a little bit of a nose job and
Yeah.
turned it into total gorgeousness.
Yep.
So anyway, so it's the shenanigans that go on while he's trying to take care of these kids.
Mm-hmm.
The mom is obviously aghast at the thought of Buck watching her kids, but
Yep.
it's with any John Hughes comedy, there's a ton of heart in it too, though. And while you already like John Candy, so you're already going to like Buck, he really goes to great lengths to make you really, really like him.
Yep.
And
even as much of a bastard as he is to Amy Madigan in this movie, because
Oh, yeah.
he's just
'cause
he
she
won't
wants to get
commit
married,
to
he
her.
won't-
She wants to get married, and you don't. And that's one of those things too. Is like you watch that movie and you're like, why does she want to marry this
Yeah,
guy? Because he's
why?
such a loser.
I
You know,
know.
it's like
Well,
he's
she's
just
one of
a
those. She
big
thinks she can
giant-
fix him.
Yeah, that's exactly
what
what
it is.
it
She
is.
thinks she
It's
can
exactly
fix
what
him.
it is.
She owns her own business. She owns
Yeah.
a tire company or something like that.
Yeah,
and,
he works for her.
Yeah.
I love that scene when he calls. He's like, "Let me guess, you are not coming into work today." let me just.
Could you just?
Oh,
That's awesome. You're listening to W. I don't have to go to work today. That's awesome. And of course, the two younger kids, Macaulay Culkin and the little girl
Gabby Hoffman, who grew up funky looking.
Yeah,
she grew up funky.
Ironically enough, Amy Madigan and they were both in
They were
Field of
both
Dreams
in
the same
Field of
year.
Dreams,
The
yep.
same year.
Yep.
So kind of weird. They both work in the same movie or two movies. But yeah, she owns her. She's successful. She thinks she can get Buck to come work for her. He'll be under her thumb now.
Yep.
So she can make sure that she can get his life turned around. Because while he thinks he's got a great life, it's really not a great life.
Yeah.
And it's just the comedic value in that movie is just off the charts. It's just hilarious.
It is one just funny moment after another. Once Buck gets over there, it's him trying to adjust to dealing with the kids and trying to get them to do what he says, and then the wacky neighbor girl that comes over that's trying to hit on him.
Who was Jackie on Roseanne.
Yeah.
Laurie Metcalf.
The scene when they're dancing, she smacks his
He's holding her head, dipping her back and forth.
Yeah, she smacks his face. Just, God, man, there's so many great moments in this movie.
Oh, God, the scene with the principal, or assistant principal.
Oh, God.
As you might have noticed by the indication on the door.
Yeah.
This door?
Willie Muscles.
No. Oh, the outer door. There's nothing on this door. I love that scene.
Yep.
And Molly Russell's wart.
Yep.
Not her wart. And her growth. Her tumor. Melanoma head's coming. Here's a quarter. Go downtown and have a rat and gnaw that thing off your face.
Yeah. And to speak on the cigars real quick, because we do have to talk about the cigars in this particular movie, John Candy is smoking constantly in this film. He's smoking Lanceros. He's always got one in his mouth, even when he walks into the school.
Yeah, that's a funny scene. He goes to the bathroom to dump it
Yeah, he just blows it out.
That's awesome.
It's like kids peeing.
I love the little kid urinal.
Yeah.
So he has to get
bend down on one knee to go pee. There's just
awesome.
so many of those like classic, just funny moments in this movie that just keep you rolling, man. It's obvious, and to me, it's like hands down one of the best John Candy movies.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And
that guy had a great career. It's sadly left us way too early, but
way too early. Yeah,
but even pulled off some dramatic stuff as well.
He was excellent in serious stuff. He was great in JFK.
Yep.
He was great in what's that other one I was thinking about? Shit.
He had some serious moments in Cool Runnings that I thought were very effective too.
Cool Runnings, like Welcome to Mooseport.
Yeah.
Cool Runnings should have been his last movie.
Yeah.
But he did Wagons East afterwards, which he died during the middle of, so they really couldn't pull off the movie. I don't think it would have been good to begin with anyway.
Yeah.
But, Cool Runnings was excellent. He was just you felt, he's one of those guys, you saw him on screen, and you felt like you knew the guy. He felt like your friend.
Yeah.
And from what I've read and heard other people say about him, that was him too, though. Everyone just loved the guy.
Yeah.
When they were shooting Wagons East, Mother's Day happened to roll while they were shooting the film, and he bought every woman on the set a dozen roses for Mother's Day. I mean, that's just the kind of guy he was. He just
That's cool.
did
That's
stuff
cool.
like that. Man, I remember watching. It was several years after John Candy died, and Steve Martin was on Arsenio Hall, and Arsenio was asking about that movie, and Steve was laughing about it and told some stories. And then he said it was great to work with John, and he just kind of stopped. And he had to gather himself. I mean, just the memory of him, it bothered him. It really, you could tell he was affected by that. Years later, it was still like, yeah. So, just, okay, there's a lot of sight gags. Okay, he doesn't know how to work the washing machine, so he's like, he washes the clothes in the dishwasher and then dries them in the microwave and stuff like that.
Or the cooking for the kids.
Yeah.
Where do you see the pancakes? Couldn't even get them through the door.
Right. He makes these outlandish foods.
Yeah.
And he's good. He's good with the younger kids. He's with Macaulay Culkin and Gabby Hoffman. And they love him to death instantly. But he's got to deal with the teenage daughter who felt like she should have been the one that watched the kids, and she's too good to do anything that he wants to do. And he sees right through her, and he just gives her shit the whole fucking movie. But it's great.
Yep.
It's in a good. He's disciplining her without her really knowing what he's doing. But it's just really cool. Very clever movie.
I love the scene in the bowling alley when he's smoking the cigar with his buddy, and he's like, "Hey, you want a cigar?" She's like, "No." It's like, "Well, let me know if you change your mind. I'll get it nice and wet for you."
He goes, "You like all-terrain vehicles?" Got a brand new Bronco in the parking lot, red. Oh, nice.
Is that the guy flipping
the loser thing? He's flipping a toothpick in his mouth.
Toothpick in his mouth. He gets stuck.
And he's like trying to turn around.
Oh man,
so much fun in that movie.
So here's some of the IMDb trivia on this. This speaks to exactly what you just said. One night during filming, John Candy went to a local bar, and spent most of the night there meeting people. The next day, John Hughes heard a call on a radio talk show describing their evening with John Candy, and was upset that Candy spent the whole night out with these people, and the fact that he came to the set looking all disheveled. Candy's comment was that he was supposed to be disheveled, and he was just getting into character. Hughes sent him home for the day.
Oh, really?
Wow. Yikes.
He's having fun with his peeps, man. Come on.
Right. And this is fun. So we talk about Macaulay Culkin, pulling off a great performance, kid performance there. There's that scene when they talk back and forth about, like, you have much more
The questions. The questions.
So how they did that was during Miles's interrogation of Uncle Buck, John Candy wrote out the script dialogue and wore it atop his head so that Macaulay Culkin could read the lines quickly and keep the pace for the scene to keep it very fast. So that was all the
cool.
close-ups. All that he was just like saying it like really, really fast.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
that's funny.
That's a great scene.
And the scene where Macaulay Culkin's by himself at the house and he looks through the thing and sees all the bad guys there. Like he opens the thing. That was basically where John Hughes got the idea for
Home Alone. I gotcha.
So
okay.
Played into that. Wow. But yeah, just great flick. I love the dynamic with Uncle Buck and Bug, the boyfriend that's trying to take advantage of the teenage girl.
I've been known to castrate a gnat with my hatchet.
Right.
You're not a gnat, are you, Bug? Wait a minute. Bug? Gnat? Is there a little similarity there? Awesome.
Yep. Greatness. So yeah, John Candy really brought.
My dad used to drive Uncle Buck cars all the time.
Did he really?
Why are you driving this piece of crap? My dad didn't like to spend money on cars.
Yeah, I kind of go with that. So the Uncle Buck car was called the Beast. It was a 75 to 78 Mercury Marquise coupe.
Wow.
And the sound that they used for the whenever he would backfire was a combination of a shotgun and a firecracker. So
wow.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Good
stuff. But yes, I mean John Hughes has a great and varied career, but I think John Candy really had a fantastic career. You look at what he's done in his career. I mean, I watched a movie the other day that I hadn't seen in, probably since the 70s, and it was an old Elliot Gould movie called Silent Partner.
Yeah, I've seen
Elliot Gould and Christopher Plummer.
Yeah.
Christopher
Plummer plays
the bad guy,
yeah.
And it was a creepy thriller. I remember one part as a kid freaked me out because there's a part in there when he kills this girl. He like punches her and she hits it into a fish tank and he cuts her head off in the fish tank and leaves the head in the fish tank. And when I was a kid, that freaked me out. It's like horrible effect now. You watch it now and you're like, oh, that's cheesy. But back in the day, it was crazy. But John Candy was in that movie.
Yeah.
It was a little small part
I remember seeing it and
guy.
I was like, wow, I didn't realize he was in that.
Yeah.
And Superman's mom got naked in that movie.
Yes, she did.
Susanna York.
Mm-hmm.
Nice rack.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. So what are some of your favorite John Candy roles?
Uncle Buck's, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is number one. Uncle Buck's definitely solidly number two. Just so much. I mean, I even liked him when he had small part. I thought he was awesome in the Blues Brothers. I thought he was incredible in that.
Great in Stripes.
Stripes. He was good. You may not notice, but may not have noticed, but I'm overweight. No.
They're actually showing that, and I think they already showed, but they were showing that in the theater.
I
recently.
saw that. Yeah, I saw that they were doing that. Yeah. There's so many. I liked him in The Great Outdoors. The movie itself wasn't that great.
Yeah.
Dan Aykroyd and Annette Bening annoyed the crap out of
We talked about overactors on a previous episode. Yeah. Dan Aykroyd is definitely an overactor.
Oh God, he's terrible in that.
Yeah.
And just when John Candy's on the screen, it's awesome.
Yeah.
He's telling the bear story. It's hilarious. The scene with the car where the bears run his car, and he says, I love you, right? Talking to his son. Big bear.
Big bear chased me. He was great in Vacation. He had a funny scene at the end of Vacation that wasn't supposed to be in there.
Yep.
They ended up reshooting and using him, which was a fantastic idea.
I liked Summer Rental.
Splash.
He was great in Splash.
Yep.
Summer Rental, it was great. It's an underrated comedy. He did another one, Tom Hanks, Volunteers. That's where Tom Hanks met Rita Wilson, actually, if I'm not mistaken. But not a great movie, but he's good in it. I always kind of wish they'd have done more movies together because they had good chemistry together. They really did.
Too.
Yeah.
Like the Little Shop of Horrors, he was good in a little part in that. Spaceballs, obviously.
I love Spaceballs. Not many people do, but I do.
He's barf. Half man, half dog.
I'm my own best friend.
I love that. Yeah, so he had a lot of good stuff. Who's Harry Crumb?
I loved Who's Harry Crumb.
Fun. I don't think it did that great at the box office, but I liked it.
Your husband is a philanderer.
Now, I will count this as a bad movie all around. It doesn't matter who you talk to; everybody hates it.
Nothing but trouble.
Nothing but trouble.
I knew you were going to say that. That movie's
just
horrible.
Bad.
Good cast.
Bad movie.
Horrible movie.
Yep. And like I said, he was good in JFK. So,
his part was getting cut out.
Yep.
And Costner fought for him to keep the part in there. That's cool.
Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, he was good in that, too.
Was the announcer. And then Cool Runnings was his last real, full-on. Wagons East was listed, and then Canadian Bacon, which I didn't even know.
Yeah, and I wanted to watch that, and I started it, and then I saw that Roger
before
Moore.
Wagons East?
I think so.
And then just came out after, probably.
Then I saw that Roger Moore directed it and wrote it, and I was like, it's getting turned off right now.
Roger Moore?
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Roger Moore? Yeah. Really? No, Michael Moore.
Michael Moore's what I meant, not Roger Moore. Sorry. Sorry, Roger Moore. You're not. No,
Wait,
Michael
Moore did a movie, not a documentary?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, none of his documentaries are documentaries. They're movies, too.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't know. Oh, weird.
Well, he's from Canada.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, so was John Candy.
Exactly.
And John Candy was... Oh, this is a funny John Candy side note. Football people know this story, but you probably won't know this story. But,
no, probably not.
It was the Super Bowl after the 88 season. And it was 49ers, Cincinnati Bengals. And 49ers are losing 16-13 with just a couple of minutes left. 49ers get the ball, and Joe Montana was, to me, the greatest quarterback ever. And this says a lot to why. Super Bowl, you only got a couple of minutes left, and you're losing the game. And he's the leader of your team. How does he keep his team loose? He comes to the huddle to start the drive and points to the stands and goes, "Hey, guys, look, there's John Candy." And everyone looked, and they were like, what's he fucking pointing out John Candy for? We're in the middle of it. But it was like, just to let him know, he was the way he'd let the team know that, hey, nothing's too big. We can come in, we can be,
Yeah.
Let's just have fun. Let's go out and win this game. And sure enough, marched down the field and won the game. But yeah, he pointed, he goes, hey, there's John Candy in the audience.
Don't let John Candy down.
Exactly. Yeah, so very cool. And I'll never forget, it's back when I was doing my sports show. We were in Port Charlotte, Florida, covering the Rangers spring training. And my cousin was getting ready. We were all getting ready to go out to eat. And so I'd already done my shower. He was doing his shower. I'm sitting there flipping ESPN on or something, and news broke out that John Candy had died. And it was like, what? I mean, just devastated. So, I mean, I knocked on the door while my cousin's in the shower, and he's like, what? He's all pissed off. So I opened the door, and I went, dude, John Candy's dead. And, man, Toby got affected by that too, apparently.
Yeah, no kidding.
So I said, John Candy's dead. Man, he turned the water off, and we didn't go out to eat. We just ordered pizza, and we sat there and watched, whatever it was, prime time or whatever, talking about his career and stuff. We were just devastated. It was like, no way.
Yeah, that was a hard one, man. Yeah. This is a little John Candy trivia here, which is kind of interesting. According to Eugene Levy, John Candy was so beloved that when the funeral procession was heading towards the cemetery where John was interred, he looked over and saw that there was no traffic on the 405 freeway, and police officers were stationed at the on- and off-ramps holding traffic. When he asked police officers what was going on, he was informed that the decision to stop traffic was up to the LAPD, and furthermore, the only other times they've ever stopped traffic was for a presidential motorcade or when the Pope visited Los Angeles.
Wow. And they did that for John Candy.
Did that for John Candy.
Wow. And I just fear that the 20-somethings and younger aren't going to know who he is. Are they going to go back and check out his movies? Hopefully they're... As parents, that is your job, to make sure that your kids know who John Candy is.
Right, yeah. My kids definitely know,
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure you're a responsible parent. Absolutely. Yep. And, Davis, who's been on our show from time to time, he's a huge John Candy fan, and he's only like 24, 25. So that's cool. But
wow. We talked about the Steve Martin thing. Listen to this. 2004 interview, Steve Martin stated that at the time of John's death, Steve was going through a divorce, so he briefly moved in with John's widow and daughter to help them through the tough time and get them away from his, and to also get away from his soon-to-be ex-wife.
Yeah.
Wow. That's how close they were. Holy crap.
Wow. That's, like I said, he broke down. I mean, he couldn't talk when John Candy's name came up. Just couldn't talk. Yeah, that's, and I'd heard other really good stories about him, but, he bought gifts for people. He was kind of like an Elvis kind of guy. He wouldn't show up and give you a Cadillac or anything, but he'd always show up with something nice for you.
Yeah.
He loved to give people gifts and things like that. Just a cool dude. And Wagons East was filmed in Mexico.
Yep.
And it was incredibly hot. He was incredibly overweight, even for John Candy standards, and he just couldn't deal with it.
Yeah.
A lot gave up.
A note in here saying, according to Maureen O'Hara, just before going to Mexico, Candy talked to her about on the phone and told her that he was fearing about going to Mexico because he felt that something bad was going to happen.
Wow.
Yikes.
That was a good movie with him and Maureen O'Hara. That was kind of a serious movie. Where he was her son, and she was the overbearing mom.
I don't know which one that is.
James Belushi's in it. Shit, what was that called?
With John Candy?
Yeah. Probably 90, 91.
Sure.
But, yeah, they became really good friends.
Yeah, they said they offered him Saturday Night Live a couple times, and he turned it down, saying that he was
yeah, he was loyal to Second
devoted
City.
to Second City. Yeah. Devoted to Second City. Once Upon a Crime?
No, that movie's terrible, but there were some funny scenes.
Delirious? Only the Lonely.
Only the
That's
Lonely.
The one.
That's right.
Only
Yep.
the Lonely. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good flick.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, Once Upon a Crime was terrible, but there are about 3 funny scenes in it that cracked me up. But and one of them was Belushi. Actually, Belushi was funny, but he's trying to set an alibi for himself because this murder had been done. They're kind of doing film noir private detective thing where there's a murder, so they get everyone in the room to, what's the Inquisition?
Yeah.
And John Candy had stated that he had walked across this tightrope to get it from one room to another, so there was no way he could have done this murder because he wasn't in the room. So the inspector's like, "Can you redo that for us?" So that's him trying to walk this tightrope.
Oh, wow.
That scene's funny, but the rest of the movie's terrible.
Hey, they can't all be winners, but the guy had a lot of good movies in his list there.
He did.
So, yeah, Ali Sheedy was in that movie also. Only the Lonely.
Yeah, she was a mortician or something.
Yeah.
God, I've seen that movie once. How do I remember so much about that movie?
Yeah. It's got 6.3 on IMDb, so it's still
That's solid. Yeah.
You remember Delirious, where he plays the writer?
Yes, I liked that movie.
Yeah.
He was a soap opera writer?
Yep. That was fun.
He wrote himself into the script. So
Yep.
Yeah.
That was kind of fun. It was a neat little concept there.
Yeah.
But yeah, the guy had a lot of talent, and was genuinely a really nice guy. Everybody says it.
Yeah. You don't hear anybody say anything bad about him.
Nothing bad about John Candy.
No.
Too bad.
Yeah, so watch Uncle Buck. It's a fun movie.
Yeah, or any of his movies, really. He's got so many good ones to choose from. He's got quite a list of fun flicks to watch. And
That scene in Summer Rental where the neighbor invites him in for lemonade or something, and she just got a boob job.
Yeah.
You want to see her? Like, what? Those, yeah, they look great. They're great. You want to touch them? And then the husband walks in. He's like, "Oh shit, they look great, don't they?" He's like, "Oh."
Which is how women are when they get a boob job. It's weird, but they are like that.
I need to know more girls with boob jobs.
Just go to a strip bar. There's a ton of them.
Yeah, then you got to pay.
Well, yeah. What was that one with? Was it Home Alone? I guess it was Home Alone. Yeah, when
he was funny in the band.
The band.
Yeah.
Polka, kissy polka.
Yeah, he was so awesome that even in a tiny cameo role, you would remember his parts. You know, I mean, he's in Blues Brothers for 5 minutes tops, but I can remember 4 lines of some, things that he said. Just awesome. But he and Aykroyd and Belushi and I mean, all those guys came up at the same time. They were all friends. They're all from Bill Murray's part of the group.
Yep.
What's that one with John Candy and Bill Murray?
Stripes.
Stripes. Yeah. Okay. I was thinking they did a movie together. I couldn't remember what it was. Yeah, Stripes. Duh. Yeah. Good stuff.
It's greatness. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, he will be sorely missed. So yeah, watch a John Candy movie today if you haven't seen all of them. He's got plenty to look at. So.
But Uncle Buck's a good place to start.
Uncle Buck is a great
And we got
place
Thanksgiving coming up, so do watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yes.
That's a great Thanksgiving movie. In that? I don't think so. He smokes cigarettes. John Candy does. Yeah.
We'll have to figure out some good Thanksgiving movies we can recommend.
Yeah. Well,
with cigar smokers in it.
We have a few weeks. We can do that.
We do. God, it's coming up already, man. That's crazy.
Weird. I know.
It's ridiculous.
It's regonk.
It is. It is totally regonk.
Yep.
To use a term that I have no idea what it means, but I'll say it anyway.
So what are we doing next, Brandon?
What are we doing next, Randy? I think we're doing a very, very famous one that we both love and know very well. And in fact, it is a drop from it in the intro for the show. Cigars. Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein. There we go.
Young Frankenstein.
Another
with the great Gene Hackman.
The great Gene Hackman.
And
great
the great Gene Wilder.
2 great Genes.
And the great Marty Feldman.
And the great
everybody
Cary
else.
Garr.
Yeah, just
and
a cast of awesomeness.
Great Madeline Kahn.
Yep.
Can't leave her out.
No. Gorgeous woman.
Yeah, I used to have a big thing on her.
Yeah.
I liked Madeline Kahn back in the day.
Yeah, I always wanted to see her naked.
Yeah.
She never got there.
No.
Damn it.
No. The great Peter Boyle.
lady.
Let's don't leave out the great Peter Boyle. He was excellent in that.
I loved. Did you ever see the Everybody Loves Raymond where they did the Halloween thing and he dressed up
If it's Frankenstein, yes, that was awesome.
That was awesome. I was like, yes, that was perfect.
That's great. They had to do that.
Yeah, they had to.
Yeah.
Holy crap! He was great. So coming up next, Young Frankenstein. So stick with us, guys, and don't forget to check out the other episodes we've done previously. We've already reviewed 3,000 Miles to Graceland, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, Crimson Tide, now The Great Uncle Buck, and coming up next, Young Frankenstein.
Yes.
So where can they find us, Randy?
We are on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Stitcher, Podcast Land, Podomatic, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. I'm at Randy Rankin43 on Twitter.
At Captain Funky Pants, and you can also check us out at Twitter for the show. The official Twitter for the show is at Cigars in Cinema, all one word, Cigars in Cinema, and also on Instagram at Cigars in Cinema as well.
There you go.
So as always, guys, it's been great smoking with you.
See you later, Brandon.
See you later, Randy.